conversation this morning with an agent that I work with a lot. He was offering me some loads for today. I was originally headed home, but things changed real quick. And we were talking about fuel prices. And he was asking me about buying fuel, and I said, I really don't, it doesn't affect me that much. It doesn't affect my profit that much. I hear a lot of people complaining about fuel prices and filling up, and yet it doesn't look good when you pull up to the pump and it costs you $1,000 to fill up your tanks. But I'm really, as a driver, as an owner, I'm not the one paying for that. Now, when I go to the grocery store, that's when I pay for it. But out here driving this truck, I don't worry about the fuel prices. I just charge more per mile. So it got me to thinking about, I've got these numbers in my head, and I think everybody should have these numbers or an idea of what these numbers are, how much it costs you to run per mile. I've seen on a couple of other channels, and so I'm going to cover with you what exactly my drop dead break-even price is to make a profit. And it's pretty easy to figure out, especially as far as the fuel prices go. My truck does pretty good on fuel. I usually get around 8 miles per gallon. And you combine that with how much I pay for fuel. I have a fuel card, gets me a good discount. I'm usually somewhere around 50 cents per mile to run my truck. Now, I don't use that 8 miles per gallon. I use 7 miles per gallon because you just never know if you're going to get a heavy load, if you're going to be going, different places. So I just come up with, at the very minimum, it's going to cost me, at the most, it's going to cost me 50 cents per mile, but I use 60 cents per mile. I think that's a very safe figure. I always aim high. So 60 cents per mile is very safe for me to use. That's just for fuel. So it costs me 60 cents for every mile that I run for fuel. Now, if you add in the other, all the fixed costs are a little bit more difficult to do, but here's how I do it. I add my insurance, my load boards, my permits, my tags, everything you can think of that comes out of my bank account every single month, and then I add $1,000 for maintenance. You may not consider the maintenance your fixed cost. It just depends on how you look at it. But with all those things, all my fixed costs, everything that comes out, I use the figure of $2,700 a month, which is over of what it really is. It's higher than what that amount really is. But again, I like to aim high, so I'm not disappointed. So $2,700 a month, and I don't run very many miles. If I'm on my normal little route, I'm running less than 1,200 miles a week. If I'm, every once in a while, maybe once a month, I'll jump out and do these runs like I'm on right now, where I go out to Vegas and come back and have that big week. So it just depends on how you run, how you're gonna run. I just use a 2,000 mile per week figure. And the way you figure that up is just like you would the fuel. If you're doing 2,000 miles a week, that's 8,000 miles per month. You take $2,700 divided by 8,000, and you come up with, how much do you come up with? 30 something cents. Let's just say 35 cents. So you add that 35 cents to the 60 cents that I have to have for fuel. And you come up with a 95 cent figure. Now, at 95 cents, I'm making a profit. profit. Now, if you have, and I've been there, I've had that, I leased a truck from Schneider several years ago, and I was paying, I think it was like $700 a week and plus $200 in maintenance. So basically $900 a week. I'm sure now that they're much more expensive. So let's say you have $1,000 truck payment, and you're running 2,000 miles a week. So that's going to be 40 cents per mile that you'd have to add on there. So if you have a brand new truck and you're doing power only, you got to make $1.30 a mile. And depending on, the brand new truck's going to get better fuel mileage than I do anyway. But at the bare minimum, $1.30 a mile is going to make you a profit. So it's real easy to figure out how much it's going to cost you to run. Now, things you can't predict are breakdowns and the market and all that, but it don't matter when it is, you're going to get that $2 a mile for doing power only at the very minimum. I think I've only booked 2 loads over the past year that were less than $2 a mile, and they were just right there at $2 a mile. Man, it's getting hot here. So $2 a mile will make you a very good profit. Now, don't think that just because I'm saying $2 a mile that that's what I'm going to take, because I very, very seldom take that. Example, my normal little run makes me about close to $5 a mile. This run that I did out to Las Vegas, I got little over $3 a mile going out and $3.50 a mile coming back. That's not counting the layover pay I'm going to get for that. But yeah, that's for me, 95 cents a mile, 95 cents a mile. That's my bottom line, what I've got to have before I start making a profit. And if I'm very careful, I'm making a profit even with that. Now, going along with that, there are ways to maximize profit. I got something jingling back there. I don't know what it is. I do most of my own maintenance and repairs. If it's something I can do out on my driveway, I'm going to do it. I do my own oil changes. Now, I spend less than $200 to do an oil change, and it takes me about literally 30 to 45 minutes. It might take me an hour if I'm having trouble crawling under there doing lube, but so in less than an hour I can do my oil change for less than $200. Now, most people take their trucks over to TA. You're going to pay close to $400. I don't know what it is now, it's been so long, but I'm guessing you're still paying $400 or more at TA if you get a discount. Some people take theirs to the dealership and are paying $600. So you can imagine, I change my oil about every 12,000 miles. So about, once every month and a half. So that can run into some, $1,000 every year that I'm saving. But all the other little things too that I can do out there, if it's a repair that I can do on my own, I'm going to do it. And that saves thousands of dollars a year. And I hear people all the time say, oh, I'm not mechanically inclined, I don't know how to do that stuff. Anybody can do that stuff. It just depends on how much you want to take on, how much you're willing to learn and do. And some of it's hard work, some of it's frustrating. But at the end of the day, you're not paying some dealership $200 an hour to go on a smoke break and DS with their friends and what have you. You're saving a lot of money there. There are lots of other things you can do to lower your overhead. My insurance is a huge cost, $15,000 a year, but I'm still in my first year. So hopefully, got my fingers crossed, everything goes right. The second year, I won't have any tickets, accidents, or anything, and I'll be able to lower that significantly, and my cost per mile will go down also. So just a short video to let you guys in on, you know, some of the business side of that, how much it costs me to run my business, and hopefully those numbers will help